You're here in this quiet moment because something inside feels broken. Maybe it's the middle of the night and sleep won't come because your mind keeps cycling through the same worries, the same fears, the same crushing weight of circumstances that seem impossible to change. Or maybe it's been a day where every door felt closed, every prayer seemed to bounce off the ceiling, and hope felt like a foreign language everyone else speaks, but you've forgotten how to understand. There's something about the darkness that makes everything feel more intense, isn't there? The problems that you can push aside during the busy daylight hours suddenly become mountains that tower over you when you're lying there in the silence. Your heart pounds with anxiety about tomorrow, next week, next month. The what-ifs spiral through your mind like a storm you can't quiet. What if this situation never changes? What if you're stuck in this pain forever? What if God has forgotten about you? And maybe you've been strong for everyone else. Maybe you've smiled through the tears, nodded when people said everything happens for a reason, pretended that you're fine when inside you're screaming. Maybe you've held it together at work, been there for your family, kept showing up to all the places you're supposed to show up, all while feeling like you're drowning on the inside. The weight of pretending everything is okay when nothing feels okay anymore is exhausting in a way that reaches into your bones. Perhaps it's a dream that died, something you worked toward for years, prayed about endlessly, believed was meant to be yours, only to watch it slip through your fingers like water. The career that never materialized, the relationship that ended when you thought it was beginning, the healing that hasn't come despite desperate prayers, the child you've longed for but can't seem to have, the reconciliation with someone you love that seems more impossible with each passing day. Maybe it's betrayal that brought you here. Someone you trusted completely showed you that your trust was misplaced. Maybe it was a friend who abandoned you when you needed them most, a spouse who broke sacred promises, a family member who chose something else over their love for you. The shock of realizing that the person you thought you knew was actually someone entirely different. The way betrayal doesn't just hurt in the moment, but reaches backward through time, making you question every memory, every shared laugh, every moment you thought was real. Or perhaps it's loss that's weighing on your heart tonight. The death of someone who felt essential to your existence, whose absence has left a hole in your world that nothing seems able to fill. The empty chair at the dinner table, the phone calls you can no longer make, the advice you can no longer ask for, the hugs you can no longer receive. Grief has a way of making everything else feel meaningless, doesn't it? How can the world keep spinning when your world has stopped? Financial stress might be keeping you awake, the kind that makes you lie there calculating and recalculating, trying to make numbers work that simply won't work. The bills that keep coming while the income doesn't. The job you lost and can't seem to replace. The debt that grows despite your best efforts. The way financial pressure seeps into every area of life, affecting relationships, health, hope itself. The shame that comes with struggling when it feels like everyone else has it figured out. Maybe it's health that's brought you to this place of desperation. A diagnosis that changed everything. Pain that's become a constant companion. Treatments that promise hope but deliver more suffering. The way illness isolates you. How it makes you feel like your body has betrayed you. How it forces you to cancel plans and disappoint people, and watch life move forward while you're stuck in waiting rooms and uncertainty. Or perhaps it's loneliness that's the heaviest burden tonight. The kind of loneliness that can exist even in a crowded room. The sense that nobody really sees you, really knows you, really understands what you're going through. Maybe you're surrounded by people, but feel utterly alone. Maybe you've tried to reach out, but felt misunderstood. Maybe you've withdrawn because explaining feels too exhausting, and silence feels safer than risking more disappointment. Mental health struggles might be what brought you here. The depression that makes everything feel grey and hopeless. The anxiety that creates catastrophic stories about futures that haven't happened yet. The trauma that keeps replaying in your mind, no matter how much you want to move forward. The way your own mind can feel like an enemy, creating prison bars made of thoughts and fears that no one else can see, but that feel absolutely real to you. Maybe it's shame that's eating away at your peace. Something you did or didn't do, something you said or should have said, a choice you made that you can't unmake. The way shame whispers lies about your worth, tells you that you're too broken, too far gone, too damaged for redemption. Shame has a voice that sounds convincing, doesn't it? It tells you that other people deserve love and second chances, but not you. Perhaps it's the weight of caring for others that's brought you to this breaking point. The parent who's watching their child struggle and feels powerless to fix it. The caregiver who's been strong for so long that they've forgotten what their own needs feel like. The person who's been everyone else's rock, but doesn't know where to turn when they're the one who's crumbling. Or maybe it's simply the accumulation of small disappointments that has finally become too much to bear. Not one catastrophic event, but 1,000 small cuts. The plans that keep falling through. The hopes that keep being deferred. The prayers that feel like they're going unanswered. The way life kept promising things would get better, but they just keep getting harder. Whatever brought you here tonight, to this moment of seeking something beyond yourself, you're not wrong to feel overwhelmed. You're not weak for struggling. You're not faithless for doubting. You're not broken beyond repair, even though it might feel that way. You're human, and being human means sometimes carrying loads that feel too heavy for your shoulders. There's something about hitting rock bottom that strips away all the pretending, isn't there? All the masks we wear, all the roles we play, all the ways we try to convince ourselves and others that we have it all together. When you're lying in the dark at 3 a.m. with tears on your cheeks and fear in your chest, there's nowhere left to hide from the truth of your need. And maybe that's exactly where you need to be. Not because the pain is good, but because it's in the place of deepest need that we finally stop trying to be our own savior. It's when we reach the end of our own strength that we become ready to discover a strength that isn't our own. It's when our own wisdom has proven insufficient that we become open to wisdom from beyond ourselves. You might feel forgotten tonight, but you're not. You might feel unseen, but you're not. You might feel unloved, but you're not. You might feel like you're too much trouble, too complicated, too broken for anyone to care about. But that's not true either. Even in this moment of despair, even in this hour when hope feels like a stranger, you are known. You are seen. You are loved with a love that doesn't depend on your performance or your perfection. The very fact that you're here, searching for something beyond your current circumstances, is evidence that hope isn't completely dead in you. It might be buried under layers of disappointment and pain. It might be whisper quiet compared to the screaming of your fears, but it's there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be looking. You wouldn't be seeking. You wouldn't be open to the possibility that maybe, just maybe, there's something more than what you can currently see. Your story isn't over. This chapter is painful. This season is dark. This moment is hard. But it's not the final word. The God who spoke galaxies into existence, who painted sunsets and invented laughter and created love itself, that same God is not finished with you. Your current circumstances are not your final destination. Your present pain is not your permanent address. But you don't have to pretend to believe that yet. You don't have to manufacture faith you don't feel or hope you can't access. You don't have to fix yourself before you come to God. You can come exactly as you are in this moment, with this pain, with these tears, with this brokenness. You can come with doubt and fear and desperation. You can come with questions instead of answers, with emptiness instead of fullness, with weakness instead of strength. The invitation isn't to people who have it all together. It's not extended only to those who figured out how to be happy and successful and spiritually mature. The invitation is to the weary, the heavy-laden, the desperate, the broken-hearted. The invitation is to you, right now, exactly as you are. Maybe you've been praying and feel like God isn't listening. Maybe you've been trying to be good enough, strong enough, faithful enough to earn his attention. Maybe you've been waiting for your circumstances to change before you dare to hope again. But what if the invitation isn't conditional? What if the love isn't something you have to earn? What if the help isn't something you have to deserve? Right now, in this very moment, you don't have to carry this alone anymore. You don't have to figure it all out. You don't have to be strong enough to fix what's broken. You don't have to pretend you're okay when you're not. You can let yourself be held by love that's bigger than your problems, stronger than your fears, and more constant than your changing circumstances. This isn't about positive thinking or pulling yourself up by your bootstraps. This isn't about denying the reality of your pain or pretending everything is fine when it's not. This is about discovering that even in the deepest valley, you are not alone. Even in the darkest night, love hasn't abandoned you. Even when everything else fails, there is still hope. Take a deep breath. Let your shoulders relax. Feel the tension leave your jaw. You can stop fighting for just a moment. You can stop trying to solve everything right now. You can rest in the knowledge that there is someone who sees exactly where you are, who understands exactly what you're feeling, and who loves you not despite your brokenness, but in the midst of it. Your pain matters. Your tears are precious. Your struggle is seen. Your heart is known. And in all of this darkness, there is still light. In all of this despair, there is still hope. In all of this brokenness, there is still love. You haven't fallen too far. You're not too broken. You're not too much trouble. You're not forgotten. You're exactly where you need to be to discover that when everything else falls away, love remains. When all your own efforts have proven insufficient, grace is sufficient. When you have nothing left to offer, you discover that nothing was ever required from you in the first place except your willingness to receive what was freely given. Rest now. Breathe deeply. Let yourself be held. Your heavy heart can find rest. Your weary soul can find peace. Your desperate spirit can find hope. Not because your circumstances have changed yet, but because you are about to discover that you are held by promises that cannot be broken, loved with a love that cannot be lost, and carried by a strength that cannot be depleted. The night may be dark, but morning is coming. The winter may be long, but spring will arrive. The storm may be fierce, but it will not last forever. And in the meantime, you are not alone. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. You are held. You are known. You are treasured beyond measure. Close your eyes if you can. Let your breathing slow. Feel the weight of worry begin to lift, even if just slightly. You don't have to solve everything tonight. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to be anything other than exactly who you are in this moment. And in this moment, you are loved. Completely, unconditionally, eternally loved. In the stillness of this moment, as your heart continues to ache with the weight of all you've been carrying, there's something you need to know. Every tear that has fallen from your eyes, every sleepless night you've endured, every moment of anguish that has gripped your soul, none of it has gone unnoticed. There is one who sees it all, who knows it all, who feels it all with you. You might have wondered if God is distant, if he's too busy managing the universe to pay attention to your small, seemingly insignificant problems. Maybe you've felt like your pain doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, like you're just one person among billions, too unimportant for the creator of everything to notice or care about. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The God who counts every star and calls them each by name also counts every tear you've shed. The one who knows when every sparrow falls also knows when your heart breaks. The creator who spoke light into existence also sees you in your darkest moments and calls you precious, beloved, irreplaceable. Your pain is not too small for his attention. Your struggles are not too insignificant for his care. Right now, even as you're listening to these words, he sees you exactly where you are. He sees the exhaustion in your shoulders, the worry lines on your face, the heaviness in your chest. He knows about the conversations you've had with yourself in the mirror, the prayers you've whispered into your pillow, the hopes you've been afraid to voice out loud because disappointment has hurt too much before. He sees the way you've tried to be strong for everyone else while falling apart on the inside. He knows about the smiles you forced when all you wanted to do was cry. He understands the loneliness you felt even in crowded rooms, the way you've sometimes wondered if anyone would truly miss you if you disappeared. He sees it all, and his heart breaks with yours. This isn't a God who stands at a distance, judging your weakness or frustrated by your struggles. This isn't a cosmic taskmaster keeping score of your failures, or a distant deity who only pays attention to the successful and the strong. This is a God who draws near to the brokenhearted, who comforts those who mourn, who gently holds those who are crushed in spirit. Think about the most compassionate person you've ever known. Maybe it was a grandmother who always seemed to know when you needed a hug, or a friend who could sense your sadness even when you tried to hide it, or a teacher who saw past your struggles to the potential within you. Take that compassion and multiply it by infinity, and you're beginning to understand how God sees you in your pain. He doesn't see your tears as weakness. He doesn't view your struggles as failures. He doesn't look at your broken places and feel disgust or disappointment. When he looks at you, he sees someone worth loving, worth saving, worth fighting for. He sees someone he created with intention and purpose, someone he delights in, someone whose pain moves his heart to action. You know that feeling when someone you love is hurting, and their pain becomes your pain? The way you would do anything to take away their suffering, to carry their burden, to give them peace? That's a tiny glimpse of how God feels about your struggles. Your pain moves him. Your tears matter to him. Your healing is important to him. Maybe you've been angry at God, wondering why he's allowed so much difficulty in your life. Maybe you've questioned whether he really cares, whether he's really good, whether he's really there at all. Those questions don't offend him or push him away. He's big enough to handle your anger, your doubts, your raw honesty about how hard life has been. In fact, your willingness to bring your real feelings to him, even the messy and angry ones, is exactly what he wants. He doesn't want your pretending or your performance. He wants your heart, all of it, even the broken parts, especially the broken parts. He wants your authentic self, not some sanitized version you think might be more acceptable. He sees how you've lost sleep worrying about your loved ones, how you've sacrificed your own needs to care for others, how you've kept going even when you felt like giving up. He sees the battles you've fought that no one else knows about, the victories you've won that no one else celebrates, the strength you've shown that you don't even recognize in yourself. He knows about the times you've helped others while your own heart was breaking. He sees how you've continued to show up, to love, to serve, to care, even when you were running on empty. He notices the kindness you've shown when kindness wasn't shown to you, the grace you've extended when you desperately needed grace yourself. Every act of love you've given from a wounded heart, every moment of courage you've mustered when you were terrified, every step forward you've taken when you wanted to give up. He's seen it all, and he's proud of you. Yes, proud of you. Not because you've been perfect, but because you've been real. Not because you've had it all figured out, but because you've kept going anyway. He sees the person you are when no one else is watching. He knows the conversations you have with yourself, the fears you wrestle with, the hopes you barely dare to hold. He sees your heart's true desires, not just the ones you think are acceptable to want, but all of them. And he loves what he sees. You might feel forgotten, but you're constantly on his mind. You might feel alone, but he's never left your side. You might feel unloved, but his love for you is the most constant thing in the universe. It doesn't fluctuate based on your performance. It doesn't diminish when you struggle. It doesn't disappear when you fail. His love for you existed before you were born, and it will continue long after this life is over. It's not something you earned or something you can lose. It's not conditional on your behavior or dependent on your faith level. It simply is, as constant as gravity, as reliable as the sunrise, as endless as the ocean. When you can't sleep because anxiety is crushing your chest, he's there with you in the darkness. When you're crying in your car after another difficult day, he's collecting your tears. When you're staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m, wondering how you're going to make it through tomorrow, he's already preparing strength for you that you don't even know you'll need. He's not waiting for you to get your life together before he shows up. He's not staying away because your faith feels weak or your prayers feel clumsy. He's not disappointed in you for struggling or frustrated with you for doubting. He's right there with you, in the mess, in the questions, in the pain. Sometimes his presence feels like a warm embrace that comforts your soul. Sometimes it feels like a gentle whisper reminding you that you're loved. Sometimes it feels like an inexplicable peace that settles over your anxious heart. Sometimes it feels like strength you didn't know you had rising up within you. Sometimes it feels like hope flickering to life when everything seemed hopeless. But sometimes his presence is quieter than that. Sometimes it's simply the fact that you're still breathing when you thought you couldn't go on. Sometimes it's the sunrise that greets you after the darkest night. Sometimes it's the unexpected kindness of a stranger or the perfectly timed call from a friend. Sometimes it's just the knowing, deep in your spirit, that you're not as alone as you feel. He's been with you in ways you recognized and ways you didn't. He's been providing for you in ways you noticed and ways you missed. He's been protecting you from things you were aware of and things you never knew threatened you. He's been loving you in ways you felt and ways that were invisible to you. Every breath you've taken, he's given. Every sunrise you've seen, he's painted. Every moment of beauty you've experienced, even in the midst of pain, he's provided. Every person who has shown you love, he's worked through. Every glimmer of hope you've felt, he's kindled. He hasn't been absent from your story. He hasn't been ignoring your cries. He hasn't forgotten your name or lost track of your situation. He's been weaving something beautiful from the threads of your pain, creating purpose from your struggles, building character through your challenges. That doesn't mean he caused your pain or that he's happy about your suffering. It means he's powerful enough to bring good from even the worst circumstances, loving enough to stay with you through the darkest valleys, and wise enough to see the bigger picture when all you can see is the current storm. Your tears have not been wasted. Your pain has not been meaningless. Your struggles have not been for nothing. He's been using it all, transforming it all, redeeming it all. What was meant to destroy you, he's using to develop you. What was intended to defeat you, he's turning into your testimony. He sees not just where you are, but where you're going. He sees not just your current pain, but your future joy. He sees not just your present struggles, but your coming victories. He sees not just what's broken in your life, but what he's going to restore. He sees not just who you are today, but who you're becoming. The same hands that formed you in your mother's womb are the hands that are holding you now. The same voice that called you by name before you were born is the voice that's speaking hope over you now. The same heart that chose you before the foundation of the world is the heart that's beating with love for you at this very moment. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not too much trouble or too broken to be loved. You are not forgotten or forsaken or alone. You are seen, you are known, you are loved, you are held. Even now, especially now, when everything feels uncertain and painful and impossible, he sees your tears, and he's collecting every single one. Not because he's keeping score, but because they're precious to him. Because you are precious to him. Your pain moves his heart. Your healing is his priority. Your peace is his gift. Your hope is his promise. Breathe that in. Let it sink deep into the wounded places of your heart. You are seen by the one who matters most. You are known by the one who loves you best. You are held by the one who has the power to change everything. And he's not done with your story yet. In fact, he's just getting started. The tears you're shedding now are watering the ground where your joy will bloom. The pain you're experiencing now is creating space in your heart for greater love. The darkness you're walking through now is making you ready for a light brighter than you've ever imagined. Rest in this truth. You are seen, you are loved, and you are not alone. The God who sees your tears also has the power to wipe them away. The one who knows your pain also holds your healing. The Creator who witnesses your brokenness also carries your restoration. You don't have to be strong right now. You don't have to have faith you can't feel. You don't have to understand why things are the way they are. You just have to let yourself be held by the one who sees it all, knows it all, and loves you through it all. He's got you, and he's not letting go. Now that you know you are seen, that every tear matters, that your pain is held in hands that understand, it's time to discover something that will anchor your soul no matter how fierce the storms of life become. There are promises spoken over your life that are more solid than mountains, more enduring than oceans, more reliable than the rising of the sun. These aren't wishful thinking or positive affirmations or human commitments that might be broken. These are divine declarations that form the very foundation of reality itself. When everything around you feels uncertain, when the ground beneath your feet seems to shift and crack, when the future feels like a terrifying unknown, these promises remain unchanging. They don't depend on your circumstances improving. They don't fluctuate with your emotions. They don't weaken when your faith feels weak. They are as constant as God himself, woven into the very fabric of who he is. The first promise that echoes through eternity and into your heart right now is this: I will never leave you nor forsake you. Let those words settle deep into the places where loneliness has made its home. Never means never. Not when you fail. Not when you doubt. Not when you make mistakes. Not when others abandon you. Not when you feel unlovable. Not when life becomes more than you think you can handle. Never. This isn't a promise to people who have their lives together. This isn't a guarantee only for those who are spiritually mature or emotionally stable or financially secure. This is a promise to you, right now, in your mess, in your questions, in your brokenness. The God of the universe has bound himself to you with an unbreakable covenant. He has made your companionship his commitment. You might feel alone, but feeling alone and being alone are not the same thing. Your emotions are valid, but they are not always accurate reporters of reality. Right now, in this moment, as you listen to these words, you are not alone. The presence that created galaxies is present with you. The love that set stars in their courses is focused on you. The strength that holds atoms together is available to you. The second promise that stands like a fortress around your heart is this: I know the plans I have for you, plans for good and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. Your current chapter is not your final destination. This season of struggle is not your permanent address. The pain you're experiencing is not the end of your story. God has plans for you. Not generic, one-size-fits-all plans, but specific, personalized, carefully crafted plans that take into account every detail of who you are and who you're becoming. Plans that factor in your personality, your gifts, your dreams, your struggles, your history, your potential. Plans that are good, not just eventually good, not just good in disguise, but genuinely, authentically, beautifully good. Maybe you can't see how your current circumstances could possibly lead to anything good. Maybe the path ahead looks blocked, the doors seem closed, the options feel exhausted. But God specializes in impossible situations. He's the God who makes ways where there seems to be no way, who opens doors that no one can shut, who creates beauty from ashes and joy from mourning. His plans for you include a future. Not just existence, not just survival, not just getting by, but a future full of purpose and meaning and joy. A future that will make the pain you're experiencing now worth it. A future that will cause you to look back and see how even the darkest valleys were part of the path to your destiny. His plans for you include hope. Real hope, not wishful thinking. Hope that is based on his power, not your circumstances. Hope that is rooted in his faithfulness, not your feelings. Hope that burns bright even in the darkest nights because it's fueled by promises that cannot fail. The third promise that wraps around you like armor is this: all things work together for good for those who love God. This doesn't mean all things are good. Your pain is not good. Betrayal is not good. Loss is not good. Injustice is not good. Evil is not good. But God is so powerful, so wise, so loving, that he can take even the worst things and weave them into a tapestry of good. He's not the author of your pain, but he's the redeemer of your pain. He doesn't cause your struggles, but he transforms your struggles. He doesn't will your hardships, but he uses your hardships to develop strength in you that you never knew you had. Wisdom you couldn't have gained any other way. Compassion that can only come from having walked through your own valleys. Every tear you've cried, every sleepless night you've endured, every moment when you thought you couldn't go on but somehow did, none of it has been wasted. God has been collecting it all, redeeming it all, transforming it all into something beautiful. The very things that have tried to destroy you are being used to develop you. You are not a victim of your circumstances. You are not at the mercy of random events. You are not forgotten by heaven, while hell seems to be winning. You are a beloved child whose Father is working all things together for your good, even when you can't see it, even when you can't feel it, even when you can't understand it. The fourth promise that steadies your shaking hands is this: my grace is sufficient for you, for my strength is made perfect in weakness. You don't have to be strong enough for what you're facing. You don't have to have enough faith to move mountains. You don't have to have all the answers, or all the resources, or all the courage. You just have to be willing to receive what is freely given. Grace means you get what you need when you need it, not because you earned it, but because you're loved. Grace means divine strength flows through your human weakness. Grace means supernatural peace guards your anxious heart. Grace means wisdom beyond your years guides your confused mind. Grace means love beyond your understanding heals your wounded soul. When you feel too weak to take another step, grace carries you. When you feel too broken to be fixed, grace restores you. When you feel too lost to find your way, grace guides you. When you feel too tired to keep fighting, grace fights for you. When you feel too small for the giants you're facing, grace makes you mighty. Your weakness is not a disqualification. Your limitations are not obstacles to God's power in your life. Your inadequacies are not barriers to his love. In fact, it's in your weakness that his strength shines brightest. It's in your inability that his ability is most clearly seen. It's in your emptiness that his fullness is most evident. The fifth promise that calms your racing heart is this: cast all your anxieties on me, because I care for you. Every worry that keeps you awake at night, every fear that grips your chest, every what-if that cycles through your mind, every burden that weighs on your shoulders, you don't have to carry any of it. Not because it's not real, not because it's not serious, but because someone infinitely more capable than you has volunteered to carry it all. This isn't about pretending problems don't exist or ignoring reality. This is about transferring the weight from your limited shoulders to his unlimited strength. This is about admitting that you were never meant to carry these burdens alone, and accepting the help that has always been available to you. He cares for you, not in a generic, distant way, but with specific, personal, intimate care. He cares about the big things and the small things. He cares about your deepest fears and your smallest worries. He cares about your relationships and your responsibilities. He cares about your health and your finances and your future. He cares because you matter to him. The sixth promise that fills your lungs with fresh breath is this: come to me, all you who are weary and heavy laden, and I will give you rest. This is an invitation, not a demand. This is an offer, not an obligation. This is a gift, not a transaction. You don't have to clean up your life first. You don't have to get your act together. You don't have to prove you deserve it. You can come exactly as you are, with whatever you're carrying, however tired you are, however broken you feel. You can come with your questions and your doubts and your anger and your pain. You can come with empty hands and an empty heart. You can come when you feel like you have nothing to offer and everything to need. And he will give you rest. Not just physical rest, though that's part of it. Soul rest, heart rest, mind rest. The kind of rest that goes deeper than sleep, that refreshes more than vacation, that restores more than medicine. The kind of rest that comes from knowing you're safe, you're loved, you're held, you're home. The seventh promise that lights up your path forward is this: I am with you always, even to the end of the age. Always means in your brightest days and your darkest nights. Always means in your victories and your failures. Always means in your faith and your doubts. Always means in your strength and your weakness. Always means in your joy and your sorrow. There is no place you can go where His love cannot reach you. There is no situation you can face where His power cannot help you. There is no mistake you can make that His grace cannot cover. There is no valley so deep that His light cannot penetrate it. There is no storm so fierce that His peace cannot calm it. To the end of the age means this promise doesn't expire. It doesn't have a termination date. It doesn't come with fine print or exceptions or loopholes. It's as permanent as eternity itself. Long after this world passes away, this promise will still be true. Long after your current struggles are forgotten, this promise will still be keeping you. The eighth promise that strengthens your weary soul is this: He who began a good work in you will complete it. Your story is not finished. Your character is not fully formed. Your purpose is not fully revealed. Your healing is not fully manifested. Your joy is not fully realized. But it will be, because the one who started the work is faithful to finish it. God doesn't start projects He doesn't complete. He doesn't begin transformations He doesn't finish. He doesn't plant seeds He doesn't intend to grow. The work He began in you when He first loved you, when He first called you, when He first drew you to Himself, that work will continue until it's perfect and complete and beautiful. Every difficulty you're facing is part of that work. Every challenge you're overcoming is developing something in you. Every test you're enduring is strengthening something in you. Every lesson you're learning is preparing you for something. The potter is still at work, and he won't stop until the vessel is everything he designed it to be. The ninth promise that guards your mind is this: the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. This isn't peace that makes sense of your circumstances. This isn't peace that comes from having everything figured out. This isn't peace that depends on external conditions. This is supernatural peace that defies logic and transcends understanding. It's peace in the storm, not just after the storm. It's calm in the chaos, not just when the chaos ends. It's rest in the battle, not just when the battle is won. It's serenity that can coexist with uncertainty, tranquility that can flourish in the middle of turmoil, stillness that can be found even when everything around you is moving. This peace guards your heart like a sentinel, protecting it from despair, from hopelessness, from being overwhelmed by circumstances. It guards your mind like a fortress, keeping out thoughts that would destroy your peace, filtering out lies that would steal your joy, standing watch against fears that would paralyze your faith. The 10th promise that fills you with unshakable confidence is this: if God is for you, who can be against you? This isn't about having no opposition. This isn't about living a life free from conflict. This is about knowing that no matter what comes against you, God is more powerful, more present, more persistent in His love for you than any force that opposes you. The God who is for you is the God who spoke the universe into existence. The God who is for you is the God who commands armies of angels. The God who is for you is the God who holds all power in heaven and earth. The God who is for you is the God who has already won every battle that matters. And He is for you completely, unreservedly, eternally for you. Every promise He has made to you is backed by everything He is. His love guarantees them. His power enforces them. His faithfulness maintains them. His character secures them. His word establishes them. They are not dependent on your worthiness, but on His nature. They are not conditional on your performance, but on His character. These promises are your inheritance. They are your birthright as His child. They are your foundation when everything else is shaking. They are your anchor when the storms of life rage. They are your hope when circumstances seem hopeless. They are your strength when you feel weak. They are your peace when anxiety threatens to overwhelm you. You don't have to wait until your circumstances change to claim these promises. You don't have to postpone believing them until you feel more worthy. You don't have to delay receiving them until your faith feels stronger. They are yours right now, in this moment, in this situation, with this pain, through this struggle. Breathe them in. Let them sink deep into your soul. Allow them to reshape how you see your situation. Let them reframe how you view your future. Permit them to restore your hope. These are not just beautiful words or inspiring thoughts. These are divine declarations about your life, your future, your value, your destiny. They cannot be broken because the one who spoke them cannot lie. They cannot fail because the one who promised them cannot fail. They cannot be revoked because the one who gave them does not change his mind. They are as solid as the throne of God, as reliable as the sunrise, as enduring as eternity itself. Rest in these promises. Build your life on these promises. Face your fears with these promises. Walk into your future with these promises. They are the bedrock beneath your feet, the sky above your head, the air you breathe, the ground you stand on. They are yours, forever and always, without exception or expiration. As these promises begin to settle into the deepest places of your heart, something profound needs to shift in how you see your current circumstances. What feels like an ending is actually a beginning. What looks like a period is actually a comma. What seems like the final chapter is actually just the turning of a page. Your story isn't over. In many ways, the most beautiful part is just beginning to unfold. Right now, you might feel like you're living in the middle of a tragedy, but God specializes in transforming tragedies into triumphs, mourning into dancing, weeping into laughter, despair into hope. The very chapter you're living through that feels so painful, so difficult, so overwhelming, may actually be the chapter that sets up the most incredible breakthrough of your entire life. Think about every meaningful story you've ever read or watched. The hero doesn't discover their strength in the comfortable moments. The breakthrough doesn't happen when everything is easy. The transformation doesn't occur when life is going according to plan. It's in the darkest hour, in the most impossible situation, in the moment when all hope seems lost, that the most powerful changes take place. You are not the exception to this pattern. You are living it. Right now, in this season of struggle, in this time of testing, in this period of pain, you are being prepared for something greater than you've ever imagined. The pressure you're feeling is not meant to crush you, but to create diamonds in you. The heat you're experiencing is not meant to burn you, but to refine gold in you. The stretching you're enduring is not meant to break you, but to expand your capacity for joy. Every great story has what writers call the all is lost moment. That point where it seems like the hero has failed, where defeat appears inevitable, where hope seems foolish. But that moment is never the end of the story. It's actually the setup for the most dramatic turnaround, the most unexpected victory, the most beautiful redemption. You might be in your all is lost moment right now, but that just means you're positioned for the most incredible comeback. The God who is writing your story is the same God who took a young shepherd boy and made him king, who took an enslaved Hebrew and made him the second most powerful man in Egypt, who took a widow with nothing and multiplied her oil until it filled every vessel in her house. He's the God who takes the discarded and makes them treasured, the forgotten and makes them famous, the broken and makes them beautiful, the lost and makes them found. He's still the God of impossible turnarounds. He's still the God of supernatural interventions. He's still the God of miraculous provisions. He's still the God of divine appointments and perfect timing and doors that no one can shut. He's still the God who makes ways where there is no way, who brings water from rocks and manna from heaven and hope from heartbreak. Your current chapter is not your final destination. This season of struggle is not your permanent address. The pain you're experiencing right now is not the end of your story. It's the labor pains of something new being born in your life. Every woman in labor knows that the intensity of the contraction signals not death but life, not ending but beginning, not defeat but the arrival of something precious and long awaited. You might not be able to see it yet, but new life is stirring within your circumstances. New possibilities are growing in the soil of your struggles. New opportunities are being prepared behind the scenes. New doors are being constructed while the old ones appear to be closing. New relationships are being orchestrated while painful ones are ending. New dreams are taking shape while old ones seem to be dying. God is not finished with you. He's not done writing your story. He's not ready to close the book on your life. In fact, some of the most beautiful chapters of your life may still be unwritten. Some of your greatest victories may still be unfought. Some of your deepest joys may still be unexperienced. Some of your most meaningful relationships may still be unmet. The dream that seems dead, it may just be sleeping, waiting for the right season to resurrect. The door that seems permanently closed, God may be preparing to not just open it, but to remove it entirely. The relationship that seems irreparable, the God of reconciliation specializes in healing what seems beyond hope. The situation that appears impossible, you serve a God for whom impossible is just another word for opportunity. Maybe you've been looking at your circumstances and seeing only what's been lost, what's been broken, what's been destroyed. But God is inviting you to see with different eyes, to see what's being prepared, what's being built, what's being restored. He's asking you to shift your perspective from what's ending to what's beginning, from what's dying to what's being born, from what's been taken to what's being given. This doesn't mean denying your pain or pretending your struggles aren't real. It means recognizing that pain and hope can coexist, that struggle and growth can happen simultaneously, that endings and beginnings often overlap. You can grieve what you've lost while anticipating what you're gaining. You can acknowledge the difficulty of this season while maintaining faith for the next one. Right now, even in your darkest moment, God is working on your behalf. Even when you can't see it, can't feel it, can't understand it, He is orchestrating events, aligning circumstances, preparing people, opening doors, removing obstacles, making provision. He is working in the supernatural realm to bring breakthrough in the natural realm. He is moving heaven and earth to write a beautiful next chapter in your story. The enemy of your soul wants you to believe that this is where your story ends, that this pain is permanent, that this struggle is final, that this defeat is definitive. But the enemy is a liar who has been defeated and whose time is limited. He wants you to quit just before your breakthrough, to give up just before your victory, to lose hope just before your miracle. Don't give him that satisfaction. Your story is being written by a God who specializes in happy endings, but not the shallow kind that ignore pain and struggle. The kind of endings that are happy because they've been purchased with perseverance, deepened by difficulty, and made precious by the journey it took to arrive there. The kind of joy that is sweeter because it was born from sorrow, the kind of peace that is richer because it was forged in the fire of conflict, the kind of love that is stronger because it was tested by trials. Every character-building moment you've endured, every faith-stretching season you've walked through, every endurance-testing trial you've faced, none of it has been wasted. All of it has been preparation for what's coming next. All of it has been developing in you the strength you'll need, the wisdom you'll require, the compassion you'll possess, the faith you'll demonstrate in the chapters yet to be written. You are not the same person who began this difficult journey. The struggles have changed you, but not in the way you might think. They haven't weakened you, they've strengthened you. They haven't diminished you, they've deepened you. They haven't defeated you, they've developed you. They haven't destroyed you, they've prepared you for something greater than you've ever imagined. The person emerging from this season of difficulty is someone with greater resilience, deeper compassion, stronger faith, clearer purpose, and more authentic hope than you had before. You're being forged in the fire of adversity into someone capable of carrying the weight of greater blessing, handling the responsibility of increased influence, and stewarding the gift of expanded opportunity. God doesn't waste pain. He doesn't allow purposeless suffering. Every tear you've shed is an investment in the joy that's coming. Every sleepless night you've endured is preparing you to fully appreciate the peace that's being prepared. Every moment you've felt alone is making space in your heart for deeper relationships. Every time you've had to dig deeper for strength is developing muscles you'll need for the next level of your life. Your current circumstances are not your identity. Your present struggles are not your permanent reality. Your temporary setbacks are not your eternal destiny. You are not defined by what's happening to you, but by who is happening through you. You are not limited by what you can see, but empowered by what God can do. You are not restricted to what seems possible, but positioned for what God makes possible. The best chapters of your life may still be unwritten. The greatest love you'll ever experience may still be approaching. The most fulfilling work you'll ever do may still be waiting. The deepest peace you'll ever know may still be coming. The most profound joy you'll ever feel may still be on its way. The most meaningful relationships you'll ever have may still be being prepared. God is not done surprising you. He's not finished blessing you. He's not through providing for you. He's not done protecting you. He's not finished healing you. He's not through restoring you. He's not done with the good plans He has for your life. The best may truly be yet to come. Even if you've been disappointed before, even if promises have been broken, even if dreams have been deferred, even if hope has been crushed, God's promises don't fail like human promises do. His timing doesn't disappoint like human timing does. His plans don't fall short like human plans do. His love doesn't fail like human love does. His faithfulness doesn't waver like human faithfulness does. You might have been told it's too late for you, that you've missed your chance, that your time has passed, that you're too old or too young or too broken or too far behind. But God doesn't operate according to human timelines or limitations. He's the God who gave Abraham a son at 100, who called Moses to lead at 80, who used Esther to save her people as a young woman, who chose Mary as a teenager to change the world. It's not too late for God to intervene in your situation. It's not too late for Him to heal your heart, restore your relationships, resurrect your dreams, redirect your path, renew your strength, refresh your hope. As long as you have breath in your lungs, God has purpose for your life. As long as your heart is beating, He has plans that are still unfolding. The delay you've experienced is not a denial. The waiting is not abandonment. The silence is not rejection. Sometimes God's greatest gifts come wrapped in the strangest packages, delivered at the most unexpected times, through the most unlikely circumstances. Sometimes what looks like God saying no is actually God saying not yet. Sometimes what feels like God closing a door is actually God protecting you from something that wasn't His best for you. Trust the process, even when you can't see the progress. Trust the author, even when you don't understand the plot. Trust the director, even when the scene doesn't make sense. Trust the potter, even when the wheel feels uncomfortable. Trust the gardener, even in the seasons of pruning. Trust the architect, even when all you see is demolition. Your story is being written by someone who sees the end from the beginning, who knows how every plot twist will resolve, who understands how every character will develop, who can weave every thread into a masterpiece. He's not making it up as he goes along. He's not surprised by your circumstances. He's not scrambling to fix what's broken. He's working according to a plan that is good, that is perfect, that is designed specifically for you. The chapters you've already lived, the good ones and the difficult ones, they all matter. They've all contributed to the person you're becoming. They've all prepared you for what's ahead. But they don't define what's possible in the chapters yet to be written. Your past does not determine your future. Your history does not dictate your destiny. Your yesterday does not limit your tomorrow. God is the God of new beginnings, fresh starts, second chances, clean slates, restored hope. He's the God who makes all things new, who creates beauty from ashes, who brings life from death, who calls things that are not as though they were. He's not finished with your story because He's not finished with you. Breathe deeply and let this truth settle into your soul. Your story isn't over. The pen is still in God's hand. The book is still being written. The plot is still unfolding. The characters are still developing. The climax is still ahead. The resolution is still coming. The ending is still being prepared, and it's going to be more beautiful than you can possibly imagine. Rest in this assurance tonight. Sleep in this peace. Wake up with this hope. Face tomorrow with this confidence. Your story isn't over. In fact, the best is yet to come. Now, as we reach the end of this journey together, as these truths have begun to settle like gentle rain into the dry places of your heart, it's time for the most beautiful part of all. It's time to rest. Not the rest that comes from exhaustion, not the rest that comes from giving up, but the rest that comes from finally understanding that you don't have to carry everything anymore. The rest that comes from knowing you are held by hands that will never let you go. This is the invitation that has been extended to you from the very beginning, through every word spoken over your heart tonight. Come and rest. Come exactly as you are, with whatever you're carrying, however tired you feel, however heavy your burdens have become. Come and discover what it means to be truly held, truly safe, truly at peace. Rest doesn't mean the absence of problems. Rest means the presence of peace in the middle of problems. Rest doesn't mean everything in your life is perfect. Rest means your heart can be perfectly at peace even when your circumstances are imperfectly chaotic. Rest doesn't mean you have all the answers. Rest means you can sleep soundly knowing that the one who holds you has all the answers. And that's enough. For too long, you've been trying to be your own savior, your own provider, your own protector, your own source of strength. You've been carrying weights you were never meant to lift, fighting battles you were never meant to fight alone, solving problems you were never meant to solve by yourself. Tonight, that can end. Tonight, you can finally lay down the burdens that have been crushing your shoulders and rest in the faithfulness of the one who has been carrying you all along. His faithfulness is not like human faithfulness. Human faithfulness wavers with circumstances, changes with moods, weakens with time, fails under pressure. But God's faithfulness is woven into the very fabric of who He is. He cannot be unfaithful any more than He can cease to exist. His faithfulness is as constant as the laws of physics, as reliable as gravity, as dependable as the sunrise. Think about the sunrise for a moment. You don't lie awake at night worrying about whether the sun will rise tomorrow morning. You don't check the weather forecast to see if sunrise is scheduled. You don't call the observatory to confirm that dawn is still planned. You simply rest in the absolute certainty that morning will come because it always has, because it always will, because that's the way the world works. That's the kind of faithfulness God has taught you. His love for you is as certain as tomorrow's sunrise. His care for you is as dependable as the changing of the seasons. His provision for you is as reliable as the beating of your own heart. His presence with you is as constant as the air you breathe. You can rest in these realities the same way you rest in the certainty of sunrise, completely, peacefully, without a single doubt. His faithfulness doesn't depend on your performance. It doesn't fluctuate with your faith level. It doesn't decrease when you struggle or increase when you're strong. It simply is unchanged and unchanging, a steady constant in a world of variables. When everything else in your life feels uncertain, when the ground beneath your feet seems to shift, when the future appears unclear, His faithfulness remains your solid foundation. You can rest in knowing that every promise He has made to you will be fulfilled. Not because you deserve it, not because you've earned it, not because you've been perfect, but because He is faithful. His word is His bond, His promise is His commitment, His declaration over your life is His guarantee. Heaven and earth may pass away, but His word concerning you will never fail. Rest in the faithfulness that has already been demonstrated in your life. Look back over your journey, even the difficult parts, especially the difficult parts, and see how His faithfulness has been woven through it all. The times when you thought you couldn't go on, but somehow found the strength to take another step. That was His faithfulness carrying you. The moments when provision came from unexpected sources, just when you needed it most. That was His faithfulness providing for you. The relationships that sustained you through dark seasons. The opportunities that opened just when doors seemed to be closing. The hope that flickered to life in your darkest hours. The peace that settled over your anxious heart when you least expected it. All of it was evidence of His faithfulness working on your behalf, often in ways you didn't even recognize at the time. His faithfulness has been your constant companion through every season of your life. It was there in your childhood, protecting you from dangers you never knew existed. It was there in your teenage years, guiding you through decisions that could have derailed your future. It was there in your young adult years, opening doors and closing others according to His perfect plan. It has been there through every season of struggle, every moment of joy, every day of ordinary life. And that same faithfulness that has carried you this far will carry you all the way home. The God who has been faithful to you for every day of your life will be faithful to you for every day that remains. The one who has never failed you will never fail you. The one who has never abandoned you will never abandon you. The one who has never stopped loving you will never stop loving you. You can rest in the faithfulness that is working even now, behind the scenes of your life, orchestrating events you can't see, arranging circumstances you're not aware of, preparing people you haven't met yet, opening doors you don't know exist. Right now, as you listen to these words, His faithfulness is active on your behalf, working all things together for your good, weaving the threads of your life into a tapestry more beautiful than you can imagine. His faithfulness doesn't sleep. It doesn't take breaks. It doesn't get tired or overwhelmed or distracted. While you rest tonight, His faithfulness will be watching over you, protecting your sleep, guarding your dreams, preparing tomorrow's grace. While you wake up tomorrow, His faithfulness will be there with fresh mercies, new strength, renewed hope. You don't have to monitor His faithfulness or manage His promises. You don't have to remind Him of His commitments or worry that He'll forget about you. You don't have to earn His continued care or maintain His ongoing love. His faithfulness is not a reward for your good behavior, but a reflection of His good character. It flows from who He is, not from what you do. This means you can truly rest. You can let your guard down. You can stop trying to control outcomes you were never meant to control. You can stop worrying about futures you were never meant to secure by yourself. You can stop carrying burdens you were never meant to bear alone. You can rest in the absolute confidence that the one who holds your life is completely trustworthy, utterly faithful, perfectly reliable. Rest in His faithfulness to complete the work He began in you. You are not an abandoned project or a forgotten dream. You are a masterpiece in progress, being crafted by the master artist who never leaves anything unfinished. Every challenge you face is part of His faithful work in you. Every struggle you endure is evidence of His commitment to your growth. Every test you pass through is proof of His dedication to your development. He is faithful to use even your mistakes for your good. He is faithful to redeem even your failures for His glory. He is faithful to transform even your weaknesses into strengths. He is faithful to turn even your scars into testimonies. Nothing in your life is wasted when it's held in His faithful hands. Rest in His faithfulness to provide for your every need. You don't have to worry about tomorrow's provision because His faithfulness has already gone before you to prepare it. You don't have to anxiety about next week's challenges because his faithfulness has already equipped you to face them. You don't have to stress about next month's uncertainties, because his faithfulness has already made provision for every situation you'll encounter. His faithfulness extends to every area of your life. Your relationships, your work, your health, your finances, your dreams, your fears, your hopes, your struggles. All of it is covered by his faithful care. There is no part of your life that is outside the reach of his faithfulness, no area that is beyond his concern, no detail that is too small for his attention. Rest in his faithfulness to work all things together for your good. This doesn't mean all things are good, but it means his faithfulness is powerful enough to extract good from even the worst circumstances. His faithfulness is creative enough to build strength from your struggles, wisdom from your wounds, beauty from your brokenness, testimony from your trials. The pain you've experienced won't be wasted if you rest in his faithfulness to redeem it. The mistakes you've made won't define you if you rest in his faithfulness to restore you. The dreams that have been delayed won't be denied if you rest in his faithfulness to fulfill his purposes for your life. The prayers that seem unanswered aren't ignored if you rest in his faithfulness to answer in his perfect timing. His faithfulness is big enough to handle your biggest problems and detailed enough to care about your smallest concerns. He is faithful in the grand gestures and in the quiet moments, in the miraculous interventions and in the ordinary provisions, in the mountain-moving moments and in the daily grace that gets you through each ordinary hour. You can rest in his faithfulness without understanding everything that's happening in your life. You don't need to have all the answers to trust the one who does. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the next step. You don't need to understand the entire plan to rest in the character of the planner. His faithfulness is not dependent on your comprehension, but on his character. Rest in knowing that his timing is always perfect, even when it doesn't match your timeline. His faithfulness includes perfect timing. Not early, not late, but exactly when it will accomplish the greatest good in your life and bring him the greatest glory. What feels like delay to you is actually divine precision to him. What seems like denial to you is actually divine protection for you. His faithfulness has been proven over thousands of years and billions of lives. Every generation has discovered that he can be trusted, that his word is reliable, that his love is unfailing. You are not the first person to need his faithfulness, and you won't be the last. You are part of a countless multitude who have found rest in his faithfulness and discovered it to be more than sufficient for every need. Tonight, you can join that multitude. You can add your voice to the chorus of those who have found his faithfulness to be their anchor in the storm, their peace in the chaos, their hope in the darkness, their strength in weakness, their joy in sorrow. You can rest in what countless others have rested in and found to be absolutely trustworthy. Let go of the need to figure everything out. Release the pressure to solve every problem tonight. Surrender the burden of controlling outcomes you were never meant to control. His faithfulness is big enough to handle whatever you're facing, whatever you're fearing, whatever you're fighting. You can rest in his faithfulness the way a child rests in a parent's arms, completely, peacefully, without reservation. Breathe deeply and feel the tension leaving your body. Let your shoulders drop, let your jaw relax, let your hands unclench. You don't have to hold everything together anymore. His faithfulness is holding you together. You don't have to keep yourself strong. His faithfulness is your strength. You don't have to manufacture peace. His faithfulness is your peace. As you prepare to sleep, know that his faithfulness will watch over you through the night. His faithfulness will guard your rest, calm your dreams, and prepare you for tomorrow. His faithfulness will be the first thing to greet you when you wake, and the last thing to comfort you when you sleep. His faithfulness is the constant companion you've been searching for, the reliable presence you've been longing for, the unshakable foundation you've been needing. You are held by a love that will never let you go, carried by a strength that will never fail you, sustained by a faithfulness that will never end. You are safe, you are secure, you are cherished beyond measure. Your future is bright not because your circumstances are perfect, but because your God is faithful. Your hope is secure not because you have all the answers, but because you know the one who does. Rest now in his faithfulness. Let it be your pillow, your blanket, your comfort, your peace. Let it quiet your racing thoughts, still your anxious heart, calm your troubled spirit. Let his faithfulness be the last thing you think about as you drift off to sleep, and the first thing you remember when you wake. His faithfulness has brought you this far, and his faithfulness will carry you all the way home. Rest in that truth. Sleep in that peace. Wake in that hope. Live in that confidence. His faithfulness is yours, forever and always, without end or limit or condition. You are loved with an everlasting love, held by an unshakable faithfulness, surrounded by an unchanging grace. Rest in these truths, dear one. Rest deeply, peacefully, completely. You are home in his faithfulness, and his faithfulness is your eternal dwelling place. Close your eyes now, and rest in the faithfulness that will never fail you, never leave you, never forsake you. Rest in the one who has been faithful yesterday, is faithful today, and will be faithful forever. Rest in knowing that whatever tomorrow brings, his faithfulness will be sufficient. Rest, beloved. Rest in his faithfulness. His faithfulness is your final answer to every fear, your ultimate response to every worry, your perfect solution to every problem. Rest in his faithfulness, and let it be enough. It is enough. He is enough. You are enough, because you are his, and his faithfulness covers you like the morning covers the earth, completely, beautifully, perfectly. Rest now, dear one. Rest in his faithfulness. Tomorrow's grace awaits you, but tonight, simply rest. You are home.